What is up? It is your boy, the Virtual Wizard, and in this video, I want to talk about a brotherhood that can't be matched. And I want to talk about how that brotherhood influenced my brotherhood.
Just kicked ass on Double Dragon.
That's right, let's get into the Double Dragon franchise. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss this. With games like River City Ransom, Bad Dudes, and Renegade already surfacing, there has always been one and only one beat-em-up juggernaut king in my opinion. A game involving brotherhood, and as close as my own brother and I bonded, we always felt that we were Double Dragons also. Double Dragon was released in the arcades in 1987 and for the NES produced by Technos Japan in 1988. While the original arcade versions of the brothers were named Spike and Hammer, their names were eventually changed to Billy and Jimmy Lee. The game was published in North America by Trade West, who gave the license to produce other home versions of the game as well. This horizontal move to the right scrolling beat 'em up has you encountering numerous enemies as they are trying to prevent you from progressing throughout the game. There's a couple of combo attacks that can be done and a few weapons that you can pick up, such as a baseball bat, a whip, throwing knives, barrels, boxes. Yeah, you get the point. This game was always a blast for my brother and I because my favorite color was red and my brother's favorite color was blue, and we know exactly who we wanted to choose. While this is gameplay footage from the arcade version, I believe in my opinion that the NES version is slightly better in terms of actually being fair and being able to actually get hits in. In the arcade version, even though it looks better graphic-wise, will leave you with nothing but pain, suffering, and anguish, as the enemies, especially the boss, will continue to spam until you are lifeless. Double Dragon became a massive hit all around the world and had numerous fans rushing to the arcades to play it immediately. And in terms of my brother and I's case, it distracted us from the Red Sox. Now you're probably wondering, what do the Red Sox have to do with your Double Dragon story? Back in the summer of 1995, my aunt worked for something called the Big Sister Association, which would allow her to get free Red Sox tickets specifically that summer. So I must have went to probably around like 7 or 8 Red Sox games that summer. And that was a big deal to me because my family was nothing of luxury and we didn't get our hands on season tickets or things of that nature. But I do specifically remember a jam-packed Saturday when my grandmother took my brother and I to a flea market named Building 19. Now, this was an ill place. It had video games all over the place, all over the grounds, radios, computers, air conditioners, tools. But for us, we were only looking for video games. And I specifically remember that day that my grandmother picked out Double Dragon and Double Dragon 2, The Revenge. Now this is where my love for Double Dragon started to spiral out of control, the sequel to its predecessor. Released the following year, once again you play as Billy and Jimmy Lee in a mission to avenge Billy's girlfriend Marion's death after she's taken out by the Black Warriors leader. As for the arcade version, I always found it very odd that they completely changed the entire color of the brothers. Now it's dark purple or navy blue and gray and white. For the NES, Acclaim jumped on this title and immediately it became a huge seller with significant amounts of copies sold. It was released around the Christmas and New Year season and it had everybody in a frenzy to get their hands on one. I remember the box art being way more detailed than the original, which attracted me to the game so much, and I was so happy to get my own copy at that flea market. And I never forget playing that game religiously when I got home, playing it, but then we had to go to the Red Sox game. So I remember going to the Red Sox game with my brother, my cousins, my grandfather, and my aunt, and all we could talk about was Double Dragon 2. My brother and I didn't even know about Double Dragon 3 yet. I believe that was released in 1990. And it was 95, 5 years after the release, and we were still obsessed with the first two, specifically the second one. But at the Red Sox game, my favorite player used to be Mo Vaughn, and yeah, I would cheer when he would go up to bat, but I was still thinking about Double Dragon: The Revenge. My brother and I, we kept talking about it and talking about it and talking about it the whole game, and we enjoyed the game, but why was Double Dragon on our mind? See, it's all about advertising and marketing. See, what they would do is shove these Double Dragon commercials down our throats. Commercials for 1, 2, and eventually my brother and I would see 3. And we fell in love with them. We were obsessed. I mean, my brother and I were already close, but this game made us even closer. To protect each other. To have each other's back. Just like in the game, cartoon, and the movie. And I think that we came to a realization at Fenway Park that even though we were massive Sox fans, this was going to be the summer of Billy and Jimmy. Now, of course, this is no fancy story or anything like that, but more so of a trip down memory lane on how I got introduced to Double Dragon, the franchise, and how my summer was in 1995 with the Red Sox. And of course, the good old glory sport of Americana. So please comment below, what's your favorite Double Dragon video game? 1, 2, 3, Rosetta Stone? Who knows? Thanks for joining me. Catch you later.